Bull or bear? Rolling my 1983 Howard Ruff 1 ounce silver round. And she comes up a bear. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it. Good morning, folks, and it's a good morning for a lot of you folks out there that have been waiting to see where this goes, what level we're moving to next. I think we're about to find out. What a lovely morning here in Lauderdale by the Sea, about 75 degrees. Hope it's lovely wherever you're at. Got the live Deerfield Beach underwater cam up here right now. The bait are out there, and I'm sure the predators are circling. What a beautiful day. Hope you're enjoying yours as well. And man, markets are just firing up here. Last night was pretty crazy, but we'll get to that in a moment. A lot of it has to do with this. You know, we always talk about politics, economics, banking, but I'm not sure that this quote can be attributed to Thomas Jefferson. If I'm correct, I've heard people say no, he didn't really say that, or it's out of context or something. But I do like the quote, regardless of who wrote it. And it says, "I believe that the banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies." And anyone that looks at wars and conflicts and things in the past, who bankrolled them? Bankers did, of course. And there's cases, for example, the Rothschilds, where the Rothschilds were banking people that were fighting against each other, two sides, benefiting from that, Well, anyways, who were the real pillagers out there? Well, we kind of know who they are, the bankers. And I love this saying right here. I had to double quote today, folks. A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. So, ain't that the truth? Had to share that one with you because I thought that was pretty cool. And it all comes down to the banking crisis that we're having right now, and all kinds of crises that's popping up. Like I said, we've never fixed the problems we had in 2008. We just band-aided them up and put more plasma, i.e. money, into the system to keep the patient alive, and that does nothing really. Now the patient is hemorrhaging again, and once again, and the situation is even more dire. Metals are just crazy today. I want to point something out here that you can see that the high, on the overnight high here on the world spot prices, you were looking at $2,074.59. Now, mind you, all places that run spot prices can be different by a few pennies or something, some a half a buck, even some as much as $1. But I like CCE, and this is courtesy of CCE, a great online service for dealers that buy and sell rare coins and precious metals, to give them some kudos. But they were showing a high at $274.59. I looked and did a little. By the way, just do a search on what the high gold price was, and you get all kinds of gobbledygook out there. But I did find one source that said the high in gold, the all-time high was $2,074.60. If that is indeed true, last night or so far, we were about a penny off from hitting or matching the all-time high, not beating it. And I suspect if we had reached or surpassed the all-time high in gold, it'd be all over the news cycle this morning, but not. But for all intents and purposes, and given inflation, we just did. We just did surpass. I mean, think about it. Even inflation in the last year compared to the last time gold hit its high in August 2020 or something like that. It was probably $2,070 something per ounce. I think it's 2,075, 2,074 and change. But again, if you inflation adjusted, we just hit another all-time high in gold. Meanwhile, silver, the big laggard, hasn't hit its high, but twice already? 1980, 2011, to $50 an ounce. But silver, we get the big smackdowns in silver, and it's such a highly manipulated market. We talk about this all the time. But there's something just strange going on with silver because the strength, it surpassed that $25 level. I suspect there's a couple reasons out there, either CFTC or some regulating group, or maybe even the CME Crimex group itself started to notice, and certainly BlackRock, and I think that's why SLV was fixed and that big short position was gone away, according to Ted Butler, that BlackRock said, hey, F SLV, it's such a small nothingness part of our portfolio. Why would we want to lose our credibility and have, that kind of be a stain on our record? So SLV seems to have been fixed, again, according to Ted Butler, with that massive short position that really was a shortage of physical silver that they couldn't put into the market. And this might have something to do with where we sit right now with silver prices. Silver demand is off the hook as far as investment demand by smaller investors. And I'm sure that manufacturers and people that make stuff that need silver are not in any less need of it, although they may be coming up here shortly. But silver is primarily electronics, and electronics, will continue. We'll always continue to manufacture electronics. And even if there's a lull in manufacturing because of a recession or something like that, silver is still way underpriced. It's been artificially underpriced for years and years and years. So a lot of folks ask me, well, Brian, what do you think is a better deal, gold or silver? And that's a tough question. And anyone that's asked me here, I answer that, quite honestly. Really, I like the idea of mixing it up, having a little bit of both. One thing nice about gold is that easy to sell. And silver is easy to sell too. It's easier to store. Gold is the money of kings. Silver is the money of the working class, or something to that effect. And there's nothing wrong with that. But who doesn't mind owning some money of kings? And central banks hold gold. Speaking of kings, central banks hold gold. They don't hold silver. But silver, again, highly manipulated market. And I tell people very often that for me, at this level, especially look at this, it's easier for me to see $50 silver, which is a double up from where we are right now, than it is to see $4,000 gold. All right, and regardless of what happens here, where gold goes, silver will follow eventually, even manipulated as hell as it may be. But the strange thing about silver right now is these little increments that I'm seeing it go up in remind me of the last couple times I saw silver make big runs up. And primarily, I mostly remember 2011 because 80 was so long ago. But and we didn't have the charts like we do in 1980. We had to make phone calls. But compared to 2011, I'm kind of seeing some comparisons. Comparisons, but that's not a double negative, is it? Following it then, I can see some parallels to that march up that we saw with silver back then. Marching up a buck, coming back a little bit, marching back up 25 cents, down 13 cents, but doing it consistently without seeing that monkey hammering from the big commercial shorts in the Crimex markets that we typically see. I don't think we've seen the big shorts hit it. Maybe they have. Maybe silver could be much higher right now than it is if they hadn't hit it. That's possible, because I think Ted Butler said he was disappointed to see more short positions out there, but it didn't do much to the price, did it? Strange going-ons. And really, I'm really surprised at platinum. Very unloved metal, but still, and a little bit, it worries me a little bit, because platinum is kind of a tell on the price of gold and silver, and has been in the past couple times. I mean, I see these patterns. Yes, I see dead people too, but I'm just kidding. I see these patterns, and if platinum's down right now and continues to go down, I'd be a little suspicious that we may see the same thing tomorrow in gold and silver markets. And again, monkey hammer. They love to monkey hammer markets on Fridays. They'll salami chop it up tonight, and maybe little pieces to knock that market down a little bit, and then do an intraday and then just bang it at the end. Is that what we're going to see with gold, silver tomorrow? Is that what platinum's telling us? I don't know. Let's hope that the platinum in the red is not indicating that we're going to see the other two metals in the red. But again, maybe just by coincidence, I have noticed that pattern several times, or more than that, in the last couple of years. Maybe that won't hold true. And patterns that I see, and just like patterns that you see in charts and people that read chartists and stuff, that talk about cup and handle formations, death crosses, and all that stuff. It's all kind of, patterns are meaningless, because really when you have a market controlled by a group of individuals, they can read patterns as well, and they can either make the patterns go your way or go against you. Think about it from that level right there. I believe that's how they manipulate the gold and silver markets. A little bit at a time, some spoofing, a bunch of other stuff they don't get charged for. And anyways, that's such an old subject, how markets are rigged. All right, let's get into a couple things I want to talk about, which is the banking crisis that we've got going on here. We're in trouble, folks. Powell just looked outright at the audience and said the bank system is safe. It's not safe. I mean, look, First Horizon shares crash. TD Bank deal is terminated. Turmoil continues in the banking industry. Initial job claims are jumping up. Brace for rate impact as Fed drops duration seal. We'll see. We're still not exactly, but the Fed is indicating that they're going to back off. This is what I kind of see happening. If all goes well for the Fed, you'll see what we saw in Japan. It's just a stagflate, nothing. You won't see anything. You'll see an economy that doesn't grow or doesn't do anything. It's just sideways for years and years and years and years. I don't know, maybe that's not a good thing, actually. And it's not a good thing for revenue, because one of the other things, too, is remember, when the economy takes a shit, tax revenues take a shit as well. So across the board, politically, economically, banking-wise, oh gosh, has the Fed lost control? Perhaps. The ECB hikes rates by 25 BPS and warns inflation can be too high for too long. Again, that'll only last so long. But I think that, I believe our Fed, Powell and these folks, compared to EU central bankers, our people are way frickin' smarter and maybe a little more in touch with the people, ensuring that they don't have massive riots like they have in France and like they probably will have in the UK and other parts of Europe run by idiots like this. Well, okay, and we got war going on too out there, folks. So I mean, we've got every black swan that's happened here. We've got everything that could go wrong in certain sectors of our economy and our political environment. I mean, take a look at the news today of the current big cheese and chief. Look at that. I mean, but it's not like we haven't known that for a long time, that this particular person has been on the take. But now all of a sudden we find out that the FBI has had evidence of that, and they withheld it. But again, that shouldn't be a surprise either. None of this should be a surprise. I mean, unless you've been sleeping the whole time or believing everything you read in corporate news. Folks, things are set up for massive moves in precious metals. I've said it for a long time. And then you get the comments, well, you've been saying that for a while. Well, I have been saying that for a while, because the truth of the matter is, if I really knew exactly when, I would have just leveraged everything I own into that day, made a fortune, bought myself an island, and relaxed and did videos about fishing. So it was never a matter of when precious metals. Let's do a quick refresh. I have a feeling we might see. No, man, she's still blowing up. And platinum's still kind of down a little bit, but I have a feeling that we're going to start looking at the next new levels in precious metals. And in my head, it's been 2,500 for a long time. I felt that we were long overdue. I thought we were going to see 2,500 long ago. I thought that was going to be the new next level for gold, but not so much. But I think we're going to be heading there pretty soon. Silver, again, has not seen its all-time high. So many screwed up things in the silver market. That whole market's screwed up, period. The silver market is just plain. The Crimex COMEX markets, the physical markets, the derivatives paper markets that are involved with the physical markets are so screwed and broken. This is why you're seeing big premiums in silver. This is why you're seeing such a huge disconnect. When there's such big demand for silver, you see the price of silver going down. That market's broken. The silver market's broken. Anything that you're seeing at these levels is super cheap, in my opinion. But again, premiums are high, but I think they're indicating the lack of physical metal out there. Meanwhile, what's going on with the banks too? And all this bad stuff that's going on with banks collapsing and all this stuff, and we're finding out that federal agencies aren't doing their job in hiding stuff for certain political people that they like or they're influenced by. Again, that's going to be big news today, and for the rest of I don't know, maybe for the rest of the year we could see an impeachment on this, but who knows? But no less unlikely. It's all falling apart. I mean, take a look at this. It's like, Superman called it bizarro world, where everything was the opposite, and that's exactly what we got going on. This company right here ends up profiting. All right, here's one of them. Look, this is from what? Department of who? Okay, Department of who agrees to pay what? This is just one, and U.S. and Treasury markets, okay? All right, and we hand them the keys to the vaults, all right? And that's exactly what the Treasury Department, this administration, maybe even the last administration would have done, because I even think the last administration was fiscally clueless, economically clueless as well, as much as they'd like to claim they were such billionaires and smart people. Not so much, man. Maybe they had good people working for them. That's the whole key to that kind of person. But anyways, don't want to go there. We handed the keys to these folks. Think about it. You gave the keys to the hen house to the fucking fox. Oh, geez. All right. You couldn't make this stuff up. Again, in bizarre world, perhaps. Interesting thing here at gata.org, by the way, if you're a gold stacker, you really need to have this bookmarked and read this stuff. Good stuff out here. Talks about how those markets are manipulated as well. India and Russia suspend talks to settle trade in rupees. And this is, again, just kind of another, the idea that the BRICS nations is just going to pop up and everything's going to be resolved and they're going to be a direct dominant threat against the U.S. dollar immediately and things are going to fall apart immediately are not true. The BRICS nations don't need the, we don't, the failure of the United States will have nothing to do with the BRICS nations, more or less, because the failure will be created internally by the people running this country's bureaucracies, military, and political systems, all right? They're the ones, they're going to destroy the system before the BRICS do. But I think the BRICS are just going to be like the nail in the coffin. Boom, boom, we're done. For a dollar. But you gold and silver stackers out there, man, you're going to preserve your wealth. I tell you, this is why you're in this stuff. Get into the stupidity. Who's read this, the $1 trillion coin? I read about it a long time ago, and I thought it was just some obscure, weird joke, half-assed joke or something that some people that believe in modern monetary theory, MMT, and Marxists dreamed up. Marxists wouldn't dream this up. Marxists would just say, hey, I don't know what they would say, but $1 trillion platinum coin could save the U.S. from economic. They really, there's people out there considering making $1 trillion look and other long shot debt solutions. Now this is Forbes, man. This is Forbes. This is Reuters saying this. This is Business Insider Indiana, 1 trillion, right? All right, well, I believe that actually there are some legs to stand on this because the Congress and I believe the government has the right to coin money, and they could coin $1 trillion coin. But would the Fed accept it? Probably not. The Fed would just probably laugh and say, sorry guys, we're not mandated to accept that, nor will we accept that. However, you can put it on the U.S. Mint website and try to get a premium for it. Maybe you'll get $1.5 trillion. All right, anyways, gosh, again, you couldn't write this stuff up unless you lived in bizarro world. We live in bizarro world, folks. I mean, where everything is the opposite of what the United States, America, our government, our economic system should have been. You know, we don't live in a capitalistic system. That's what the left people and the Marxist morons. Marxists aren't morons. Leftists are. Marxists are pretty smart people. That's why you got to be careful when you argue with them. But the leftists out there that believe that. Oh man, money grows on trees. Anyways, I don't want to go off completely political here, but I just can't believe this kind of stuff is even vaguely considered. All right, what about actually cutting down spending down exponentially? What about cutting out most of these federal agencies? Just cutting them out. What about just cutting out wars in the military-industrial complex? You know how much we could decrease the budget? What about just safely opening up our national lands safely to some kind of safe mining that we can pull out resources without polluting the land? What if, I mean, there's so many things here. Instead, folks, they just keep doubling down on stupid. Both parties do, and all these presidents have since I remember as a kid. You know, and when I started paying attention, they all doubled down on stupid. All right, let me move out of here. Hey, let's do another let's see where gold is going. That's kind of interesting here. Okay, hovering around that 20.58. There's a high last night for silver, too, almost nearing that $26 mark. But, man, I just can't help not feel like they're going to try to monkey hammer it either later on today or this evening or tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot will have to do with what the Fed says. But I believe these markets kind of already know what the Fed are saying. That's why we're sitting at where we are right now with these markets. Well, anyways, let's move into the last video I did, which is $30 silver this month, just my opinion. And I do apologize for that. I meant to put a question mark there. Marcelo did change the thing because there should be a question mark there because it is a question mark. It's not about, I don't know, you know what I mean? And again, if I knew, I'd make that big leverage bet and I'd be doing fishing videos and instead of coin videos or precious metal videos. Maybe not, maybe I'd still do them, but okay, where was I going with this? It's just my opinion on will we see $30? Well, again, as I said in this video, it's some weird dynamics, some weird things going on. Not the things I would think would happen. There's, the silver has the big, some of the big shorts have stepped in and shorted on silver, but we're still sitting at the same level. They haven't banged it down. Does that mean they will or they won't? I don't know. You can't predict what these crooked entities will do. But no less, something strange, and I got a gut feeling that we could. All right, I'm just going to say it. In my opinion, we could. But I could say that any month. We could. It really depends on what these crooked entities do. And I think they're out of ammo, or soon to be out of ammo, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe someone's getting suckered into something. It's certainly not us, because I'm happy with buying this asset at these prices. All right, let me, small video too, so I can answer some comments. Not like that 58,000 view video I had. I don't know where that came from. Wasn't even my best content video. That's what I don't get about YouTube. I do some of these content where, like, I think content's better in this video than it was my 58,000 view video, but I think it's really thumbnails, titles, a little bit of luck, algos, and all that stuff that rewards certain videos. I mean, look in my screen here. There's some videos here you want. Well, there's some good guys out here, but some of these videos, where are they? I don't really click on them, so I'm not going to see them too much. But there's some real garbage out there that gets big views. I just don't understand how or why. All right, close your eyes if you get dizzy. I'm going to go down here and answer some questions from my favorite commenters. And who's my favorite commenters? Everyone that comments. Christina, what's up? Yeah, that was Monday, I think it was, when I did this last video here. Or was it Monday? Yeah, it did become a big smash the following day, but man, it just kind of woke back up. That's what's making me wonder about what's going on with silver right now, just the strength and these takedowns that we're seeing. It's kind of just popping back up again. Perhaps if there wasn't some smackdowns, maybe we are seeing big smackdowns. It's just not having a great effect like we've seen in the past for some reason. That's probably a good answer. Fred Dittburner says, you've been saying this forever for 7 years. Don't forget to hit the like button and buy his book. No, I haven't been saying $30 silver. I've been always questioning, will we see this mark this week? Will we not see this mark? If you watch my videos, Fred, it's something I say frequently is, I wish I frickin' knew. I wish I'd be doing my fishing videos, all right? Somewhere great if I knew, but I don't. Never admitted I have. Never said I did. I've always said I'm surprised they've been able to keep this manipulative sideshow going so long in the COMEX markets, but never predicted that, this week, next month is going to go to that. And if I did, crap, maybe in 1-2 videos, a bit too much wine, made a bold prediction, but I avoid that for the most part. Nabsy, so thanks, Fred, appreciate your comment. Nabsy28 says their paper games becomes more relevant every passing day. Yep, kudos, agree with that. Here, a little sip of coffee here. $25 silver for 25 more years. Gee, no, man, you're not going to see $25 silver. I mean, I think, I don't know where the next level is for silver, but the next level of gold just screams to me that it's going to be substantially higher from where we're at right now. And I feel the same way about silver. I think at some point that they broke this market so badly, the disconnect between what is actually available and what paper they claim they have out there for it. That it's just broken, and we're going to see the real price of silver at some point just go crazy. Das Scribner says that's just criminal, so hard to watch this. That's just criminal. Not quite sure what you're talking about, sir, but thanks for commenting. Christopher McCormick says our Austrian-Hungarian Ford Ducat restock is a good product to stack. Cheers, Brian. Cheers to you. Anything you can buy at a small premium that's recognized by the industry is a good deal. Again, think smaller premium, smaller premium. Gold and silver is so manipulated, smack back down again. Yes, they are. But again, I think gold's much harder to manipulate because it's a global market and central banks own it. But silver, way manipulated. But at some point, they're going to break the market. They did it in 2011. They did it in 1980. The market was broken for some reason or another. And I think we're in that broken market stage right now. And that's why we're going to see much higher prices. Last August, I predicted 30-ounce silver by 2023, but I like your prediction. Yeah, it's tough doing predictions, Christopher. It's a funny thing, too. You're either a hero or a zero when you make these predictions with gold, silver, and platinum. And again, making predictions on natural organic markets and using charts that rely on organic markets might be doable. I think it would be pretty easily just looking at charts. But when you're dealing with a market that is just so broken and crooked, there's no guessing on this stuff. It is what it is. That's why I've always said, it's broken. The market's broken, silver market. Stephen W. says, I'd like to see a video on Silver Institute report detailing the 237 million ounce deficit in 2022. Yes, the market is small. I found it interesting that you mentioned a couple buyers buying a couple $1 billion worth of 80 million ounce, which sent the price to rocketing. Well, that is occurring right now. Okay, very cool. Let me say, but that represents a $5 billion buying position where the price of silver dropped below $20. So what you said is that $1 billion buying position will not necessarily spike the price of silver. What you're not mentioning is a long position related to the short. Well, no. I'm talking about physical silver. I'm not talking about going out and buying contracts. I'm not talking about buying stuff that's not backed. Say, COMEX is not backed. COMEX contracts aren't backed by silver. People think they are, but COMEX doesn't have to hold that amount of silver. They supposedly should have access to that amount of silver, but it's all a Ponzi scheme to some sort. SLV is a different story. I believe they are required to hold that silver, and again, I think they have it, but that's my opinion. The true way to control the price of silver is consolidate long and short positions of the dominant futures. That's what they do, exactly, and that's what we talk about in our videos. So we talk about how the short and long positions are manipulated, and it's not really one bank anymore. JP Morgan is not the big massive short position out there. JP Morgan has accumulated a large amount of silver and gold based on their, on their crooked behavior in the past and their spoofing markets. They're sitting pretty, I believe, for the most part, with a lot of physical gold and silver. But the big commercial banks out there, you're right, absolutely right about that, but I don't JP Morgan is a player in that market, so to speak. Control. Sure, Jeffrey Christensen will tell you that silver is not strategic to any, but everything's strategic. It has silver in it. Yep, can't argue with that either, sir. Thank you, Stephen. That's very heady stuff. No worries. Appreciate your comment there, even if we disagree on a few things. You never learn from people you always agree with. You learn from people you disagree with, and I agree with that. ESSA Software says it's already 30 big fake paper. Yeah, 43 years. Yeah, thank you, ESSA Software. Miami Home says 40 years since 1980 high, unless you're a jeweler. But hey, just watch my videos, Miami Homes. You'll get kind of what I'm talking about. Speaking of the real estate market, are you guys getting hammered in the home residential market? I don't think we are in Florida. Everyone's moving down here, but I believe the commercial markets down here are starting to get hammered pretty badly. Mike Matson says climate change. Great insight, Brian. Thank you, Rick. $100 this month. I don't know. That would be, I don't see it. Anyways, that's pushing it, Tom. Well, then again, it would be fun to see. I'd probably cash out real quick because I figured they'd smash it down quick, but who knows? Physical has bottom. Who knows what's happening out there? I mean, is the world coming apart? Tough to say. You can't good view on it because you can't trust the people that are supposed to tell you. Physical has bottom, in my opinion. $30 paper silver, soon $2,800 gold. Interesting. Maybe 100,000. So look at the price when we have a nuke war. Put a lot of sunblock on if we have a nuke war, that's for sure. Donald Desna, so 12-cent silver, a loaf of bread, 1920. 2023, a silver dime equals a loaf of bread, and $700 silver in the future will equal $7. I've said that for years too. If we see, well, I don't know about $70 silver. I think $700 silver. Yeah, you see $700 silver. Yeah, loaf of bread, $70 for sure, folks. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. Trump won. I'm still calling 20-ish this summer. Oh man, I just no. But then again, never underestimate these crooks. Trusted Silver says the silver market is small. I don't think so. Just oh man, in the comics. Okay, here we go. I already did a reply for this one. Sorry, you don't know shit from Shinola, sir. The only liar here is the one talking on his ass about stuff he knows a little about. Have a good day anyway. And I did mean have a good day, Trusted Silver 1987, but you really don't know shit from Shinola based on this comment right here. And here, I'll open it up so the rest of the people can read it. JP says charges to someone. Okay, sounds like the. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't want to get into that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Copper Bones 2020. Appreciate that. Michael Matthews, Chris Paul, but SmackDown. Yeah, I know. That's just Listen, when you're a battered child like silver is, silver buyers and silver holders. When you're a battered child like that, as soon as you hear a loud crack, or any kind of thing that sounds like you're going to get smacked, you're like gun shy a little bit, like blinking your eyes. And we're blinking right now. Hey, are you going to smack us down? Tough to say, man. Again, you can't figure out what these crooks are going to do always. At some point, they're going to lose complete control of it, though. I know that, and maybe this is the point. Yeah, I heard this. This is interesting. Elon just bought a bunch of silver about a month ago. I'm going to read a little bit about that. They all got the best. This happened in GFC. Yeah, I know. It's just bad stuff. Thank you. Appreciate that, Mark Carter. By the way, folks, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. I'd like to thank everyone that commented here on this video. And don't forget, again, to hit that bell, because it'll remind you when my new videos come up. You can also find me out here. You can ask me a lot of questions. I'm a little more free to answer stuff that I can't really say on this particular forum we're on right now. But please hit me up out here. There's my profile. I use my personal name there. And again, happy to answer questions for some of you. And I post some interesting stuff out there as well. Also, you can catch me on LinkedIn. I happen to like this. A lot of professional people out there, as Brian Kuzmar as well, owner of blah, 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 blah. And catch me here, too. Like to give a heads up to all the WSS folks and the commenters out there. Silver Lover 1974 says, with rig smashes like that, I doubt this will happen. Oh, I know how you feel, dude. I really do. But, you know, and again, I know how all of you guys feel sometimes. I've been doing this since, 77. I was a young person doing it, working for my father, but I've been through the 79, 80 market, been through all these other markets, and I know exactly how you feel about this. It's, but, the frustration you're feeling with silver and gold markets is the same frustration that we feel with our political system, our economic system, and everything else. This all ties in together. All right, well, that's it. If you're looking to buy some silver, gold, platinum, any kind of 1 ounce rounds or that kind of stuff, we advertise to beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. We have a brick and mortar here where we, again, if you're buying anywhere from $1 worth to millions of dollars worth of gold, silver, and platinum, we are a small yet powerful place that has great prices and good customer service, something that's hard to get. Well, customer service, good customer service and face-to-face service, you can't get it online. That's why we advertise to beat APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion, because not only can we beat their prices, and you don't have to sit there worrying if your stuff's going to get lost in the mail, or, and you get better advice here. And again, a friendly face to talk to and someone that you know is going to be looking out for your best interest. That's us. And if you don't live in South Florida, you can't buy from our brick and mortar store. We do ship. We do shipping in old method. We don't have a website to do it, but we do old school over the phone sales. But we do have a limit. I keep lowering these limits because I'm testing the waters here. But if you're looking to buy more than 50 ounces of gold and more than 1,500 ounces of silver, give us a call at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals, and I'll probably revive Concierge Bullion here soon as well. At 954-493-8811, and we can work with you through wires and traditional forms of shipping. We've done it for quite a few of my listeners out there that are buying larger quantities as well. All right, that's it, man. Appreciate everyone watching. Don't forget the Lakeland Collectorama show's coming up in June 22nd to 24th. It's going to be a really cool show. You're going to have a little bit of everything here. Let me see if I can refresh that so we can get a little action going on in the background. And, okay, she's not refreshing so well. Oh, I know why, because I'm on the wrong page. There we go. All right. There's the Lakeland Civic Center. There's what the show kind of looks like. There's coins, precious metals, collectibles, all kinds of cool stuff, gold eagles, silver eagles. Got a lot of good dealers there, too. Even antique firearms for you guys that like the antique stuff. Comic book show. Boy, there's some interesting stuff there for sure. Don't forget, if you want to come, take your family. It's an hour from... I could show you here on free tickets. Well, get your free tickets right here. Otherwise, you got to pay at the door. And it's June 22nd, June 24th. All right, that's it. Looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, make sure you see us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Have yourself a wonderful day, and let's see where this goes tomorrow. Let me do a refresh. All right, we're leveling off, except for silver. Thanks, folks. Talk to you later. Bye.